Hey, this is Nicholas with the Backyard Tortoise, and I'm here to give a mild spoiler review of Doctor Who Time Lord Victorious, the Genetics of the Daleks. So these guys are at it again, but this time with the Fourth Doctor. And so this story was really good. It was a fun story. If I had any critique of it, it would be that the Doctor doesn't show up till at least a third of the way in. So you start out and you start to wonder, is the Doctor going to be in this? It showed the Fourth Doctor on the cover. But once he does show up, he's excellent. He has so many good mannerisms, callbacks. There's even a moment when he almost pauses, and you could imagine it being on TV and having him look to the camera and go, reverse the polarity. So he put it in there, callbacks there. I love some of the touches. They start out with his actual intro theme. So one of the things, I'm new to these audio dramas, and I loved how with the Master they combined the War Master theme with Doctor Who theme together, and I was playing that on repeat. It was really nice as I had just recently done a rewatch of the Fourth Doctor. Hearing that theme at the beginning, that's him instead of whatever the current theme is. I thought that was a really good touch. Other things that I would note, this one didn't have, as we've seen with the other Time Lord Victorious audio dramas featuring the Daleks, it didn't have some of the new Daleks like the Dalek Emperor and the Strategist and Executioner and all that. There was one, and if I had to guess, I would say he was the Dalek Scientist. But they never state what he was. But he was one of the ones that was on the ship previously that had blown up. And had survived, and he had gotten taken onto the ship, and he was presumed dead. But of course, it's Doctor Who and it's Daleks, so they're never gone, they're never dead. You never underestimate them. But they did a good job. They kind of one of the things I really liked is they took two different plots. There were two different bad guys on the ship. There was the Dalek and what he was doing, but there was also another side plot of bad people on the ship and what they were doing, and how those coincided in the end. The bad guys have to work with the good guys because the Daleks are even bigger threat, and they even tied in like the Dalek zombie human drones that we've seen before on the show. So that was kind of cool, and in an audio drama it gave it a little bit of horror vibe. Not much, but just a little bit, which was good. But that'll bring me to my one big complaint about this audio drama. So, my minor complaint was that the Fourth Doctor was not in it enough. But and that may just be to his age. He may not be able to do long recording sessions. But when you get to the end and the Doctor saved the day and he says goodbye and he goes, it's revealed that one of the Daleks survived. And then the crew's like, oh no. And then they cut to, as they normally do with these audio dramas, they cut to them talking to the cast about what it was like to work on the drama and kind of getting their little behind the scenes extra bonus features. And they immediately started going into how wonderful the escape room is, and how the escape room directly follows what happens after that. Now here's a problem. 2020 happened. Coronavirus happened. This escape room is only in London. So not only do a good portion of the world, they're not going to pay to fly out to do an escape room, but now there's a pandemic. Most people aren't even allowed to fly to London, even if they had the money to spend. So super fans won't be able to experience that, and that's out of their control. But they're not. That part of the story is not being made available somehow. I would love, and I get not wanting to cut the legs of it short, but I'd love if they had an announcement that, by the end of 2021, when the escape room is going to be done, we're going to release a video of one of the escape room tries or something, where people who go into it, maybe they have to sign a waiver, and there'll be a version that we get to see, or they have the voice actors go and do the escape room so that you get to actually see them play that out just like that, and have that be like the official version, and just have that released because the escape room is only going to be available for a limited time. So release that after it so that we can finish the story, because they cliffhanger that and then immediately tell you go to this escape room, which 95% of fans cannot go to. Even if they had the money and they want to spend it, like right now, they cannot go get on a plane and fly to London to go to an escape room. So that, there's a lot of fans there, but even in London, there's lots of restrictions. So I imagine they only can let so many people in at a time. They're probably having to restrict things. So, and London's going into new stages of lockdown. They got Daleks going down the street, making everybody stay in their home. I don't know how this escape room is even existing. So it would be really nice if they could make sure that story, that part of this whole narrative, was available. Outside of that, it was a good story. The Fourth Doctor had some really good moments. Showed the Doctor being very smart, very clever. And so I think all in all, it was a good story. But those would be my two complaints. Not enough of the Fourth Doctor. And then, not giving us that cliffhanger that we can't be fulfilled on. It's not like, next episode, it's this thing that you're not going to get to go do. And it sounds really cool and really awesome. We're not going to make it available in other countries. You can't go to it now, even if you had the money and wanted to. So it's the climax point, and it's a letdown. So that hurt. But the story in the middle, especially after the Fourth Doctor shows up, that's really good. So definitely worth a listen. That's Doctor Who Time Lord Victorious, Genetics of the Daleks.